So good morning. It is a happy Sabbath, right? Today is to learn how to make a happiness. So how did you all fall in love with your partner? How did that happen? Do you know how? He was good looking? Still good looking? That look was good. Okay, what else? Conversation? Funny. Funny and talk good, huh? Yes? She sent you roses. How romantic. Okay? So we do want to know how we actually fell in love with our own partner. And sometimes I wonder, how did I ever do this? Hearing what you heard me last night, right? I should never gotten married. Destroying somebody else's life, right? But we do this. It's not because you are so smart, something does happen. It's our brain works for us without us knowing about it. So in our DNA, there is some chemical which is called human lymphocyte antigen. This is an immune code we have. And according to this, based on this, we get our immune abilities. And, I don't usually catch cold, or my heart is strong, my lungs are strong, my kidneys are kind of weak, and that kind of all the immune ability. So everyone has this immune code. And when human lymphocyte antigen gets act up around teenage, it's already working, looking for that right partner. And that right partner, it doesn't have anything to do whether it's a successful marriage or a good communicator. It just looks for that right code, which is if that man has the exact opposite of immune capability from what I have. So if I have a strong heart and strong lungs, but I have a little bit of weak kidneys and bladder, and if the guy walks by and happen to have very strong kidneys, very strong bladder, but maybe a little bit weak on heart, it'll be okay that I can make up for it. My brain, through this human lymphocyte antigen, recognized that right away. And my husband's brain recognized me before I recognized him. So he chased me for like 4 years in his time, young time, without knowing what he was going to get into. So then when this immune clicks, we call love cocktail, all of these love chemicals. The main one is the phenylethylamine, that famous love chemistry. And then when that phenylethylamine is triggered by this human lymphocyte antigen, there we go, the norepinephrine and dopamine and serotonin, all of those feeling good hormones just pours out from our brain. And that's what happened. You fall in love with somebody. Because the phenylethylamine, love molecule, it works with all the others. It just really gives you a lot of libido, the sexual energy, and life energy as well. And then also, the dopamine comes, you just feel good no matter what. No matter how she looks so cute, so loving, so admirable. It just does that for you. And that is what dopamine does. And of course, there's a lot of sexual interest. And the norepinephrine is like more sweeping away feeling that you want to kiss this person. You want to hold on to this woman. I don't want to let go of this man. All of this feeling just comes. And when you have this feeling, what happened? That's when you fell in love at the first sight. I don't know whether this is a blessing or disaster. But it does happen, right? So then, when that euphoric feeling comes, you want to know everything about that person. You want to be together with this person all the time. You don't want to be separated. And there's always energy. You don't even have to sleep. You could be sleeping 3-4 hours. There we go. You're up in the morning, have all this energy to go work. You can't wait until the work hour is over. And then you can't wait. Sometimes you will ask your boss, please, can I leave 2 hours early today? And the boss usually knows when you're in love because you don't make sense out of anything. So then he said, okay. So then you get an excuse and you come out and you spend your time with your partner forever. And during this time, you will have to know even penny pinchers will spend a lot of money. Will send you roses. Will send you all kind of chocolates. All of these presents. And nothing is wasting. It's just worth it. You just feel that way. So when you have this kind of feeling, you just admire this person no matter what. When I was dating, I also revealed some of my anger that I talked about last night. And he would say something about it, and then I get really angry and irritable. I'll get into why I had that kind of anger during the main service, but I'll get really angry. And in Korea, when we were dating, there were a lot of buses. There's no automobile, right? A lot of bus commuting. And then on the street, there's a little bridge connecting from this side of the street to the other side of the street. So if I was walking on this side and I get really mad at him, I'll be running upstairs and go across the street and go down and catch the bus, next one coming, and just run back to the dormitory of nursing school. He never got mad. He didn't figure out, oh, she must have a lot of anger inside. Well, she thought she's so lively, so cute, so ambitious. All of this crazy interpretation. That comes from this love cocktail. Everything looks perfect. And then, when you have this admirable ability, if you can admire this person just as the same way as you were doing during your dating time, you will never have a problem, right? But so that's what happened. That's how we fall in love with people. And during this infatuation time, why do we not see anything? And scientists do a lot of researches. So they researched what happened to the frontal lobe brain. Because the frontal lobe brain is the one that is thinking and criticizing and analyzing and assessing, say, oh, she's too dangerous for me. And then they found out during this infatuation period, about 30 to 40% of blood flow is decreased. That's why we marry to someone like who married. And we don't think the critical analysis ability disappears. Everything just looks good. And then also during this time, everyone acts like high T person. T is testosterone. Testosterone is the hormone lead our sexual desire. In most cases, the woman has about 1/10 of testosterone level compared to the man. And you will only experience after 2 to 3 years of marriage. But during this time, we are all triggered by this love cocktail. We all act very sexual. So a lot of guys thinking, if I marry this woman, my goal, my desire, my need will be met completely without a problem. And come to realize, oh my goodness, she fooled me. It wasn't that she fooled me. Who fooled who? You got fooled by your own chemicals, my husband thinking that I thought I'll be good for him. So that's what happened. We all act very, very sexual this time. And sometimes during this time, if your mother or your father or your relative tells you, he's just not good, and this is your first marriage, this is his third marriage, he has 5 kids, you're going to struggle a lot. And our chemical, because we cannot think, what do we say? We think we can change this partner. Because during this time, we promised a lot of things. During our dating time, my husband said, if you marry me, I'll be your doorman. I'll be your chaperone. I will do all the trashes, garbage man. I will do all the ironing. Did he keep his promises? Did he lie when he said what he will do? He didn't lie. He was genuine. He was honest about his desire. By now, he does do all of this. He does do all the garbage. He does open the door. He still doesn't do ironing, I have to tell you. You know by now from yesterday I am a very honest person, but I forgave him with the ironing part because he does a lot more dishes that I didn't expect. He take out all the garbages that I don't do. So, there's a give and take there. But during this time, you think if somebody said he's alcoholic, oh, Mom, don't worry. If I marry him, he will quit that alcohol. He will do this, and he will work hard and all of this. Does that ever happen? No. When that superpower chemical disappears, everyone goes back to the normal person, how we used to be. So when this chemical comes, it lasts about 2 to 3 years into first marriage. And then after that, the chemical kind of slows down. And then our body also gets used to heighten the level of all these love chemicals. So why does it come down to normal? I cry out to God sometimes, why didn't you just keep that chemical going in my life throughout until I die? But He didn't do that way. I guess we had to make some sense out of our living. When we have a kid, somebody has to feed the baby. Somebody has to cook. We can't be loving and hugging and engaging in all the sexual entertainment all the time. And that's what people, the drug addicts, do. They get a baby, and the baby's crying over there and crying because she or he is hungry. But they're having such a good time with the drug. They say, oh, she's okay. She's okay. That's why they neglect the kid. That's what's going to happen if we have this love chemical flowing all the time. So sometime, I guess, at the point when we're having baby, our brain need to come down to normal. So I guess God made it that way. And the other thing, this love-matching DNA working, the human lymphocyte HLA antigen, it doesn't just happen once. Even though you are married and happily married, that brain can click again when it sees someone who has a very close immune system of your own spouse. So that happens. And if your marriage is kind of rocky, when you find that person, you're thinking what? Wow, now I found the true one, my soulmate. I thought my first one was soulmate, but she wasn't no good. That this is the real soulmate. So you go after this person, and then you live with that person for a couple of years. What happened? Same thing. And then you change a partner again, a third time. Because your brain will click with someone else again. So if you don't know about this chemical action, and when you feel that first kind of feeling love, you will think, oh, I better change my partner right now. Well, it's not like I don't ever get tempted. I still get tempted too. A couple of years ago, my office is in LA, and then my bank is BBCN Bank, and now it's a Bank of Hope. So I go there and deposit my money. As I come out, there was a gentleman. He walked by me, and he stepped back, and he looked at me. Oh, you look like an angel. I'm thinking, you fool. I am never close to angel. You should know better. But I tried to be polite. I said, yes, sir. And he said, where do you live? And what do you do? All kind of thing. Sir, I'm married. And he said, oh, I'm married too. You see? So you get deceived when that chemical acts, that this is a true love coming. That don't get fooled by that. So if you know this much, and during your marriage, somebody else comes to you and confesses his or her love to you, you just know, okay, that chemistry. He must have a very similar chemicals of the human lymphocyte antigen immune system close to my wife and close to my husband. And you just say, thank you for your compliment, but I am married. Be able to do this. Because by the time you change your fifth partner, you don't feel so good about this. What you feel good about is maintain your partner now, learn the skills and the knowledge, and keep that marriage going. Just like my husband and I, how hard we tried. We understood what it means by take your own cross and walk in Christ. I had a lot of crosses of mine, which I will get into in worship time again. So, you do know this chemical is not true love. It's just an agent leads to have loving life. So remember, that feeling is very precious. There is a way to kill that feeling really fast. There's ways to maintain that feeling. So that's what we're here for. How do we maintain that feeling? We don't have to have that intensity of love feeling of our dating time. If we can maintain about 30 to 40% of that feeling, we are still good. We are still motivated to admire our spouse. We are still motivated to do nice things for him or her. So we need to know what is love for men and women. So what is love for you? Honesty is love for you. Remember the spouse. You need to remember this one. If that whoever's talking is your spouse, what is love for you? Loving Jesus? Okay. Care. So I have a little bit of hearing aid, and I'm still wearing hearing aid, but still have a problem when it's in the public. The sound kind of disappears. So just understand if I ask you twice. It's not you said it wrong. It's just I don't hear. Okay. Thank you very much. So everyone has a different things that make them feel loved. So what I defined love is just as simple as this. Try to read together. Ready and go. The words, that actions that make your partner feel loved by you. Very simple. And then although that we are working toward this, there are some scientific researches done. In general meaning statistically about 85 to 90% of the men and women, there are specific characters that we make us feeling loved by our partner. So let's find out about that. Couples love bonding. As you see, the woman in a love bonding, that we connect with the emotional bonding, we make a 90% of emotional bonding out of 100% love feeling. And then there's 10% sexual bonding. Now for guys, their love is 90% sexual bonding and a 10% emotional bonding. Huge differences. So I will start with a woman. So what is woman's love? So when my husband found out about this, he just about passed out. So for me and your wife feels loved when you do a lot of dishes. I'm telling you, my husband probably died by then. Because I told you about Korean culture. If men go to the kitchen, what happened? The most important organ of a man's body disappears. So for him to go to the kitchen, he would have to feel like, I am less than a man. For him to overcome this feeling, he went through a lot of process. One time, when he first learned about this, as he was trying, he's always tried to live with me. As he was walking toward the kitchen, he looked at me and said, why my facial muscle is twitching? And he's scratching his hair like this. And one of his friends also learned about this. And then he goes into the kitchen. If the friends comes and find out they're doing the dishes, and they will ask, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just washing my hands, They couldn't proudly say that he or the other guys were helping. And this was a very proud thing. But I thank very much. I give him so much credit for him to work through his own struggle. And as we were going home last night, he said, for Korean men, washing dishes is a huge task. It is. And he did overcome. Now he does more dishes than I do. So that's why I told you that he is almost to the excellence of an angel, right? So he endured that. And folding laundry, when he, fold laundries, I don't look at him and say, oh, yes, he does the right angle. Oh, that's a good way. Oh, but he's pretty good about that. When I look at him folding laundries with me, or he folded all the laundries, I feel he really cares. He loves me. That's how I feel. I don't know why, but I do feel that he really cares for me. Same thing when he takes out trashes. And when he responds to request right away, I feel he really cares. So if your wife said, honey, could you put a couple of nails over here and there? I said, all right, maybe tomorrow. And this afternoon, he go help out another lady on the next door. That's not going to work out. Some of you guys, you're too nice to next door neighbor woman, but not so nice to your own wife. It doesn't work that way. Your wife comes first. Her request comes first. So you do that right away. She feels really good. And when you're walking together, and the walking thing is for me, when my husband walks with me, I feel really good that I think he cares for me because he does not like walking. Men don't usually like plain walking. They like to have some goal, objective things to hit or win or smash or something, right? And it could be tennis or golf or something, then they don't mind walking. But just plain walking, I don't know. My husband just don't care, but he does it for me because I feel good. And when you are there when your spouse is ill, women feel loved by that. And of course, on top of all of this, loving expression and a feeling being understood by you and then able to talk without being stopped. Oh, I'm too tired. The language is love for women. So if you skip a couple of these washing dishes or folding laundries or doing this part you just cannot afford to skip. So men, repeat after me. For women, let's try again. For women, language is love. So learning to talk with your wife. This afternoon we'll be spending a whole session about communication. But be able to talk with your wife is a very, very important thing for women. So when she cries, how do you make her feel understood by you? You don't want to run away. Don't go away. Pray all by yourself. My husband used to do that when I drive him crazy. And I scream and I cry sometimes because I'm so upset. He doesn't know what to do. So he goes to his prayer room, the study room, and he prays so long, so long. That does not make me feel good, I'm telling you. When your wife is upset and crying, don't go pray alone. You have to be there and say, let's try to read it again. Ready and go. And give her a long, warm hug until she stops crying. Amen. So the language is the power of love for women. So, you don't want to say, when she's crying, don't say, don't cry. Because that'll make her cry a little bit longer. But if you say, oh my goodness, you're so upset and it's really hurting you, you have to cry, her stop will cry within a few minutes. So you need to know a little bit of this kind of skill, okay? So when she's angry, again, don't run away. When I used to get angry, my husband he couldn't handle me with my anger bursts. He would run out. He would stay out there, and my brain is fuming because I need to talk these things out, right? And about 2 to 3 hours later, he thinks he's trying to be humorous and cute. He would open the door, and he would say, am I safe to come in? No! It doesn't work that way. Sometimes, if your wife said, I cannot talk right now because I'm too upset, please leave me alone. Then you want to go out. Leave her alone and check with her. Can I come in? Are you feeling better? This and that. But most of the times, if she doesn't say that, you just say, like what? This is a very upsetting for you, I see. You have every right to be upset. Acknowledge her emotion. Just agree with her. And then you give her a long hug again. Don't say, don't be angry. Don't go to your room and pray alone and come out and say you need to pray to control that anger. Don't do that. right? So you do this, and then she will feel very much understood by you. So a lot of these things are very simple that you can do this. It's not so hard. So you just don't, when she's crying, don't say, don't cry. When she's angry, don't say, don't be angry. Or you need to pray more. Or you need to read Sister White's writing. Read that Adventist home. You will never do such a thing like that. You don't want to say something like that. And that's what I used to do. That's how I know that some people might say something like this. So I stopped doing that. So, try to do this way. Okay? So how to make her feel understood by you is don't say let's pray too quickly. It's a form of a repression. If you just immediately say let's pray, she doesn't have time to express her feeling. Then she feels guilty because of guilt feeling. Then she will say, okay, let's pray. And then when she's done with the prayer, sometimes she feels better. Sometimes she's more resentful because she didn't express her feeling. And if it goes once every year, it's okay. But if it happens every week, into 3 years of your marriage, she will do nothing but getting angry at you every moment, everything you turn around. That's how she's going to be. So express that feeling, and don't say, don't worry about that. When she's worrying about something, she cannot not worry. So let her talk about all her issues. Express her issues. It'll make her worries go away. And when, she's talking about something, you just want to summarize. You will learn how to summarize this afternoon when we learn communication. And wait until she said, okay, let's pray. Then she's ready to pray and pray with you. Okay? So why is talking so important for women? So in our brain, this part of the brain is the language brain. It's a temporal lobe, the side right behind your ear. Woman has a lot more connective tissue at this side of the brain, and we talk a lot more. In general, meaning 85 to 90% of women, we talk about 50,000 words a day. And some book would say 60,000 words a day. And the men talk how much? What happened to men? Men only, or maybe I try to shorten it. Men only talk like a 10,000, 10 to 12,000 words a day. So if pastor has a sermon 1 hour, that's already 8,000 to 10,000 words. And by the time he goes hi and hi this and hi to this and that, he goes home, what happened? He's done. Done with the talking. So if his wife tried to talk to him, it's so easy to say, I'm just too tired today. Can we talk about this tomorrow? When you say, can we talk about this tomorrow? Or can you stop talking about it? The man, this is how you're going to understand. When you're about ready to have a sex and have an ejaculation, she goes, I'm too tired. Can we do this tomorrow? How frustrated do you get? The exact frustration you feel is the same way that we feel. So understand, when she wants to talk to you, don't say, don't talk to me right now, because you're asking her to don't love me at this time. So it's very, very important for her to talk. And we know when her talking is all done, then her stress kind of disappears. And when you talk to her, make sure that you don't look at the TV. If you want that talk to be effective, and shorten it to like 5 to 10 minutes. Don't browse through the magazine or looking at the TV. Okay, I'm listening to you, just talk. That's not going to work. Men can do side-by-side talk fine. Women, we don't do side-by-side. We have to have eye contact. Whenever my husband's friend come, I watch them. Sometimes they sit side by side and they hit their knees each other like this. I don't know whether they're gay or something, but they talk fine by side, right? But woman, if you don't look at us and try to look at some other thing and tell us to talk, we feel ignored by you. We feel you're not there. So eye contact is very, very important. So then what happened? You're too tired. Says this is a tired day strategy. All men try to read this. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. You can just do that. Just don't say don't talk right now. But you have to make sure that you have to look at her. So make sure that she sits right across from you, right? And then you look at her, and you can, sit on a couch, relaxed way. Go, mm-hmm. Ah, I see. Okay, so all of guys, you're my husband. Let's practice. Honey, when I went to work today, that girl, my coworker, Sonia, she drives me crazy all the time. And whenever I try to work there, she always comes to my desk and she will watch me and try to make sure that I do right. And I just cannot stand her. Good job. That's what you need to do. Not so hard. Very simple science. Just don't say I'm too tired to talk right now. Okay? So this is a tired day strategy. So combine, mm-hmm, uh-huh. And when she's all upset, you do need to learn to summarize, and you learn how to summarize that. Okay. Now, for men, we cannot not do this, right? Because the men will be really, really upset. So how come men's sexual bonding is about 90% out of all the love? So when a mom conceives a baby, about 8 weeks into gestational period, if this is a male egg, the male egg gets testosterone flush. The flood coming out. To make a man, to make a boy, not a girl. And when man gets that testosterone flush, 80% of communication skill cells disappears. It dies. The emotional bonding disappears. They don't know. So when woman gets upset, when men gets upset, we know right away. We can look at the face and this and that. Oh, he's really upset. So we try to bring the cold water. Are you feeling tired today? Did I do something wrong? We know how to do this. For men, we could be upset, right? We be doing dishes, banging the dishes, and he still doesn't get it. Now we break the dish, and then so, what is wrong with you? Be careful. They don't get it. They don't know what we're communicating. So the emotional bonding, this communication thing disappears. And the man gets another testosterone flush when they're in age 15 and 16, teenage time, becoming more male-ish, growing hair, voice deepens, and they lose all of this emotional cue reading abilities. So they still have testosterone, heightened, 10 to 20 times more than women. For some guy, 20 times. Then what do they have left? What the feelings they have? They have 3 feelings: hungry, angry, horny. That's how they survive. So that's why it's so difficult for guys to communicate. So that's why the guy needs to spend more time in learning how to read your wife's cues, how to talk, and all of this, right? So then, what is this sexual thing? And then I don't know, I can't really get mad at my husband for him being such a sexual human being when God made him this way. So that's the first challenge I'm going to challenge to God when I go to heaven. Why on earth did you make this much difference? I get 1 testosterone, he gets 15 testosterone. So 1 to 15 ratio, it just doesn't work. He wants to do 15 times when I only want to do 1 time. It's just so hard, right? For some people, it's 10 to 1. Some people, to 20 to 1 ratio. So how do we work with this thing? So why men? So we need to understand guys. And in sexual brain, the men's brain also is about, sexual brain is about 2.5 times larger than female brain. And when they feel that sexual feeling satisfied, that's a love for them. They don't need to have all of different things like we do. If we give them good sex and good compliments, they feel loved by you. So when they're having sexual, when you guys having the couples bonding, that oxytocin hormone that make you feel very bonded and feel like she's mine and he's mine, that's the oxytocin hormone, comes 500% more just before and just right after ejaculation. So woman, remember this when you're tired. You tell your husband, it's just too much. Just go find somebody else to take care of it. What happens with the guy? He bonds with that woman, whether she's pretty, young, old, prostitute, don't care. He will bond with the person whom he's having a sex with. So don't ever say, go out and just find somebody else to take care of it. And just come on, bring the money, I will survive. It's not going to work for you. He will not be there for you after a few times, right? So this is a very, very important. And for guys, when they don't have that sexual need met, the stress level goes up and up and up. Because they depend on this oxytocin hormone to flush out the stresses of daily life. So when that oxytocin surge comes out, it flushes out adrenaline, cortisol, and they feel so refreshed. Then everything looks beautiful. You look beautiful, the outside flower looks beautiful, everything looks beautiful to guys, right? So that their happiness and their self-esteem, their health depend on the sexual fulfillment. It is number one need from his wife. Remember, we can starve them a couple meals. We can, if we're too tired, we can ask him to, okay, go pick up some food, can you? They don't mind. So if this is the night that your husband might ask for it, and then you're just dead tired, you cannot do it, don't do house cleaning. They don't mind living in a messy house. Just leave that house be messy. And if you're too tired to cook, just ask him, okay, honey, I know I want to be happy and you can enjoy it tonight, but I'm just too tired to cook for you. So can you bring some to-go food? What would men say? Yes? Okay, let's do a little more clear voting here. So, would you rather not have a sex and she makes a good food? Raise your hand. Okay? You don't mind bringing some food from outside and have a good sexual night that night? Raise your hand. Make it clear you're giving message to your wives. Thank you. So we have to prioritize what is more important. As we learned from last night, Bible talks about our sexual duty. And not just regretfully or grudgingly, but happily. Because when we ask first, they feel they became a king of this earth. They didn't have to beg for it. She wanted me. They feel so proud about that. So do that before you can do something else. So it's okay that you don't have to be a beautiful or wonderful cook. You don't have to be a wonderful housekeeper. But you do need to remember this is the number one need the guy needs to have. So what's the remaining 10% of emotional bonding? Men in general lack self-image. We women, we know what we are, how we are most of the times. So we don't need a lot of compliments, but we do need some compliments, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks at least. But for guys, as I mentioned yesterday, they depend on our feedback for them to maintain their self-image and self-feedback. So if you criticize your husband 1 time a week, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, he's gone. My little Brandon is only 6-year-old. He went to the kindergarten this year. About 2 weeks into kindergarten, he came to my home. He said, Nanny, I am a bad boy. Why, Brandon? Because I get into trouble. I don't sit still. And then I don't pay attention to teacher. I don't do this. I get lots of, and he goes on like this. So he get a lot of what? Timeouts. And he got called into principal. But he was learning that he's very hyper, a lot of energy. He just can't sit still. So then I said, oh no, Brandon, you're a very, very good boy. Now you're into real school. You just have to learn a lot of things that you have to learn. How to sit still, how to listen to teacher. This is a normal for you. You're still a very, very good boy. You just need to learn a lot of good manners. He said, really, Nanny? I'm still a good boy? Yes, you are still a good boy. So I had to do a lot of this cognitive reframing thing, right? So then he felt good. But my husband is no less man than my son, my grandson. He's the same man. His self-image can be destroyed really, really fast. We can kill them in 2 months and 2 weeks, right? So giving lots of compliments. I gave you a lot of examples yesterday. So couple more examples for some of you who didn't come. Anything is fine. Let's say he decided to walk with you on the street. My husband will be walking. We live in Diamond Bar. The street is beautiful. I'm walking. I'm so thankful he's walking with me. So I'm saying, I used to do. Working? There we go. So, such a good technology. Okay. So, we're walking on the street. And then, instead of going, that house, they didn't cut the tree, they didn't trim it and all of this, I changed my whole strategy, I told you. Changing my negative brain into positive brain took 7 years to change it. But it's working. So, that house is good. They do this tree and this, it looks so beautiful, so nice. Do you think why they look so nice? My husband will look down, and he always looks down. It's the height difference there. Then he said, why? I said, it's because of you walking with me. We were just walking, and he got his own compliments, and his mouth hangs where? On his ear, right? So a lot of different things. When he does dishes, the same thing. I used to say, look at this. You didn't clean good. There's a little pepper here, the red thing here. Don't you see it? Now I decide what? Whenever he does dishes, I say, that makes me feel so good. I just feel like you are my husband. Things like that. So when he does dishes, I just know that sometimes I will have to eat with a little bit unclean dishes. But it won't kill me, I know. But my criticism will kill his self-image. So do this 3 to 4 times a week. You practice this. For guys, the goal of their life is becoming a hero of you, women. So make him feel that he is your hero. And the other thing that makes guy feel is you have to look beautiful. You have to take care of yourself, appearances. So guys, what colors do you like? So ask your spouse right now, what color do you like? Ask your spouse. What color does he like? Rainbow color? So you like all rainbow. There's no beige in rainbow, right? But you like all other color. How about you? Red? He likes red. Remember, in guys' eyes, beige is not there. They like bright colors, rainbow, red, green. Why do you think I'm wearing white skirts and green shirt up here? I want to be seen. I want them to be able to focus on me, right? So ask your spouse what color he likes. And then try to buy that color of your clothes. So try to get it and make yourself beautiful. If you don't work and you stay at home most of the time, take care of yourself more. But if you work like me, have a profession, I have to get dressed up. Not as dressed up like this, but I have to look nice. I still have to put a little bit of makeup on and hair and this and that. So he does get to see me when I look halfway decent. But if you stay home and if you always come on out of your bedroom with a lion hairstyle saying, do you have to eat breakfast? It's not going to work for you. And don't try to save money and then make a Helmut-style hair. Do something so it'll look better on you. They don't appreciate you save $10 off your hairstyle. They appreciate more that you spend $20 more for you to look better. Because for your look, it's their self-esteem. That's how weak their self-esteem is. My husband, he's looking halfway decent, right? You saw him. But I don't get my pride out of his look. I am okay without his look. But for guys, when you look beautiful, they get so proud of themselves. They want to show off to the people. And so it is very, very important. Because he loved you, he married you because of that. If you look a little bit good, your husband thinks you're the most beautiful woman on this earth because he loved you the way you were before. So make sure you take care of it. Try to wear something more attention drawing to your own husband. So ask him what color. And a lot of times guys don't know. Because how many colors do guys have to know to be a man? Navy and black and white. So guy likes black and white. I was going to try to wear black and white. But you know that my black dress didn't have any pocket to put on. This is my. So I changed to green. And the green is comparable. You guys can still see me, right? And you don't get so disgusted looking at me, right? So, but the beige, the men have to be a special man to like a beige color. But if your spouse like a beige color, it's okay. But if he said, oh, the beige is not so good. Well, it's my color. I don't care. I'm going to wear it. Don't do it. You do care what he likes. Marriage is a very dependent relationship. By the time you start saying, I don't care, that the other spouse will find something that he wouldn't care. In marriage, there's no word such as, I don't care. We care everything. And this is how we're going to communicate each other. So take care of yourself, and that's what becomes loving for husband. So in a guy and man, there's also vision differences. Alan talked about this last night. Men see 45 angles, right? And they see long way, like binocular. We women see 180 angle, and we see short distance very, very well. So when we open the refrigerator, what do? We go closer, we see everything. When a guy opens the refrigerator door, what does he do? He steps back and go like this. It's too close. Honey, bring that orange juice bottle. Where is it? It's too close. And then you wait 5 minutes, you get so frustrated, you walk down there. Go away. I might as well get it. I don't even know why I even ask you. He tried. He just can see too close things, right? So my husband used to do this. In my nail clipper that I always fuss about is sitting right in front of him because he got so many. Oh, am I getting a signal? Yes. Okay, so we'll try to finish after this. So then he would say, where's the nail clipper? And then I look around, and I don't help him to find a nail clipper anymore, right? Last night I told you I found the resolution. I bought him 13, and I keep one, right? But before that, he would always ask for nail clipper. It's sitting right in front of him. I said, it's right here. He just didn't see it. Too close. So if you have a son, you're going to happen to ask him to bring the milk bottle from the refrigerator. You will just have to know he's going to take a little more time. Don't yell at him. Don't scream at him just because him being a boy and acting like a boy. Because if you send a girl to find it, she will find it right away just like that and bring it to you. So same thing, woman, don't get frustrated when you're walking down the street from the kitchen to the floor, on the floor, from the kitchen to the bathroom. As you walk down, because we see 180 degree, right? We can pick up the diaper here and trash here and this and that. So when you see your husband coming that way, can you pick up the diaper? Because where? And you get so upset, right? So don't get upset if he doesn't see it. And guys, don't get upset when you do dishes, that your wife will go and bring all these pans and pots from the stove. It's not that we didn't save all those weeks so long of usage. We do that every day. You guys just don't see it. When you do dishes, you will just clean the dishes on the sink, inside of the sink, and then you think you're done. So we have to look around for you. But we don't have to look around this way. So if your wife brings a pots and pans, and pots and pans for you to finish the dishes, it's because you just don't see when you see 45 angle. The other one, it's not like we don't see any handsome gentlemen. We do see them. But we don't have to do this to follow to see them, right? We walk, he's pretty handsome. We never get caught by our spouses, husband, that we're looking at somebody who's handsome. But men always get caught. Why? His vision is like this. He has to follow her. She's walking this way and this way. And we say, oh, don't do that. That's so disgusting. Women, don't get so disgusted about that. Men are visual. When there's a beautiful object, they will go like this, but they don't mean they're going to follow her and go ask for, remarriage or something. It just happens to be that way. Just try to distract. Just distract him by saying, wow, that woman is so beautiful. I know you cannot help but looking at her. You say, oh, she's not that beautiful, We need to finish, so we will continue a little bit of remaining what it means to have a happy marriage this afternoon. And this afternoon, we will go into everything you learn need to be translated into communication skills for each of you to feel loved by. And that's what we're going to be receiving training this afternoon. So make sure that you stay for communication part. And then I hope I gave you some information. This is not everything about men and women differences. There are a lot more for you to learn. So much resources out there that you can learn. So God bless you that as you think about all these fun things that you learn, that you can apply this into your life every day, and hopefully it'll help you in increasing your happiness.